WhatsApp, a messaging app that's revolutionized how we communicate with our loved ones. Over the years, WhatsApp has grown from a humble startup to one of the biggest social media applications globally. The story of WhatsApp is one of sheer determination by the founders who saw and believed in the vision even when others doubted. In today's video, we'll take a look into the story of WhatsApp. Without further ado, let's dive into that video. Before 2009, one thing was common across every messaging app that existed. Apps like WeChat, Facebook Messenger, Kakao Talk, and Line were notorious for unending ads and other gimmicks that formed part of the revenue-minting models. To many users, this model was annoying. They had to endure various ads, and they were not interesting to them in any way. In 2009, the duo of Brian Acton and Jan Koum left their jobs at Yahoo. Their initial intentions were to travel worldwide. But on Halloween of 2007, the pair headed to South America for a year-long adventure. And as fate would later have it, things started going south for the pair and their savings began to deplete. They had to think of another plan and decided to apply for a job at Facebook. Well, that didn't quite go as planned, as they were rejected by Facebook. But that disappointment served as motivation and pushed them to find an even better plan. With Koum as CEO, they set out on a new life adventure, developing and launching WhatsApp. Born to a Jewish family in Kyiv, Ukraine, Jan Koum and his family moved to the U.S. after the collapse of the USSR. Koum's potential started showing early. 2 years after immigrating to the States, he started teaching himself computer programming. He also joined an elite hacking group known as W00W00, which instilled cybersecurity skills in him. Speaking about the experience, Koum told Reuters, "I had so much fun in the early days learning about networking, security, scalability, and other geeky stuff. The knowledge was the foundation that Koum needed for the journey ahead of him." Koum joined San Jose State University, where he met his future business partner, Brian Acton. However, like other creme developers such as Mark Zuckerberg and Larry Ellison, Koum quit after only a year at Yahoo. After the pair's savings started depleting after the escapade in South America, they returned to the United States. In January 2009, Koum bought an iPhone, and this was when he realized the huge potential behind the App Store, which at that moment was just a few months old. His early experience also made him think of how he could enhance user experience. As a teenager, he saw how communication between his family members was difficult due to its expensive nature. He hatched an idea of developing a cross-platform messaging app that could be used to make calls and send messages. Koum made serious his intentions of developing an easy-to-use messaging platform when he consulted another friend, Alex Fishman. Fishman helped him structure his vision for the app. Fishman also used his links with a Russian developer, Igor Solomennikov, who helped Koum build the messaging platform's front end. In May 2009, the WhatsApp was launched. And as the story goes, anything that could go wrong, it went wrong. Koum faced major issues such as battery draining and crashes of the app. His friends and close associates didn't make it any easier because none of them seemed to like it after he demoed the app to them. All these setbacks made Koum so disappointed, he lost all hope of realizing his dream and started looking for a new job. However, one person still believed in Koum's vision, his friend Brian Acton. Acton told Koum, "You'd be an idiot to quit now. Give it a few more months." Acton's words may have salvaged Koum's idea that he seemed so intent to let go. A month after the less than impressive launch of the app, Apple launched the push notification update, which reminded users when they weren't using an installed app. Koum saw this as an opportunity to push his app to the masses. He capitalized on Apple's update and did some tweaks on WhatsApp, which made it possible to send push notifications to friends whenever a user changed his status on WhatsApp. At first, WhatsApp became a hit in Russia after people started using it to update their daily activity and ping each of their peers with statuses like, "Can't talk, I'm at the gym." Within no time, users started using the app to chat through statuses. For instance, a person might post, "Hey Chris," and Chris would change his status to reflect the response to that person. Quorum saw the need to upgrade the app's operating model to an internet-based instant messaging app. In his usual aggressive nature, he didn't sleep on the idea, and that's how version 2.0 of WhatsApp came into being. Speaking about the update, Coombs said, "Being able to reach somebody halfway across the world instantly on a device that's always with you was powerful." As is mostly the norm with other apps, WhatsApp 2.0 was launched in beta stage. The idea of logging into the app with nothing else but just a phone number appealed to a lot of people. The app's unique approach gave it an upper hand over other platforms like BlackBerry's BBM and Google's Gtalk. You see, these apps required users to share a unique ID to communicate with others. This advantage made WhatsApp an app with high utility and saw its users skyrocket to over 250,000 in just a few months after the 2.0 launch. Back to Brian Acton, the friend who convinced Coombs to give up the app a few months before pulling the plug. Well, Acton was not an active member of the founding team, at least not until he convinced 5 of his friends to invest $250,000 seed funding in October 2009. So in November 2009, Acton officially joined WhatsApp and became a fully involved member of the company. Corum and Acton started getting inquiries on whether the application would be launched for Nokia and BlackBerry. In response to the market demand, Coombs hired a friend, Chris Pfeiffer, to develop the BlackBerry version of WhatsApp. 2 months later, the version was launched. Within a span of 2 years, support for Symbian OS, Android, and Windows OS had already been rolled out. Over the next few years, WhatsApp experienced rapid growth, but there was an issue. It was spreading faster than the investments were coming in. The biggest expenditure for WhatsApp was incurred during the initial launch days when sending verification text to users. To offset the balance, Coombs and his counterpart changed the app's business model to a paid one. They also added a new feature of sending photos. In 2011, Coombs and Acton brought in Sequoia Capital's partner Jim Getz, who assumed the role of strategic advisor and also invested $8 million for a stake of about 15% of WhatsApp. In 2013, WhatsApp secured a second funding round from Sequoia Capital valued at $50 million. This increased the startup's valuation to $1.5 billion. The operating model was also altered to a subscription model where users would use the app for free for the first year, then get an annual subscription fee of $1 after the year lapses. In February 2014, tech giant Facebook, now known as Meta, swooped in with an acquisition offer and ended up purchasing the application for a whopping $19 billion. Analysts claim that Facebook did not mind spending such an amount on such a simple messaging platform because it had identified it as a potential future competitor based on data analytics applications from Onavo. These analytics may not have been far from the truth, as data from other sources showed that WhatsApp had surpassed Facebook Messenger in terms of engagement. Under acquisition, Meta altered the app's business model, and data such as phone numbers, statuses, frequency of the app's usage, and profile pictures were shared with the parent company. In 2016, WhatsApp became fully encrypted and was launched for Windows and Mac PCs. A year later, WhatsApp for Business was rolled out. The app allowed business ventures to create their business profiles on WhatsApp for free and set up autoresponders. The app recorded impressive results with this addition as millions of users were onboarded. To make it even better, WhatsApp partnered with a number of banks in India and launched WhatsApp Payments, which made sending money via the platform as easy as sending a text. As Meta continued altering the application to its liking, Brian Acton announced his departure in September 2017 to focus on his own venture, Signal Foundation. Coombs left later after falling out with Meta over data privacy and the app's business model. After the co-founders called it quits, Facebook would go on to launch a number of new updates, such as WhatsApp for Business API, which allows large businesses to integrate the app's API with their own offerings, thus providing a smooth experience for customers to communicate important details via the app automatically. Today, WhatsApp is used by more than 1.5 billion people in more than 170 countries. It's grown tremendously to become the most used messaging platform and has surpassed the likes of SMS and MMS. With Meta's aggressive business model, the future can only be brighter for WhatsApp. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, subscribe and activate those notifications for more inspiring videos. We'll see you next time. Cheers.